In this lesson, you'll learn how to define Steno for punctuation. As with any other untranslates or mistranslate, Steno for punctuation is defined using the same steps for defining that you've previously learned, with some minor differences. One is that all punctuation is defined, because punctuation is never job or case-specific. The other is that Steno will be defined with a specific set of symbols, spaces, and/or format symbols required for the specific symbol you're defining according to the rules and preferences required for spacing for that symbol. These rules are specified in the Case Catalyst Help and the manual. For your convenience, the most common symbols are also listed in the Edit Practice file in the Training User. So when you go to practice the techniques you're about to learn, you'll have an easy-to-reference punctuation definition chart handy. Let's begin. First, I'll position the cursor on the first example in this file, on Untranslate, by pressing F8 to scan forward. As there's only one stroke, there's no need for me to mark the Steno. As I mentioned earlier, all punctuation will be defined, so I'll press Ctrl D. Just as Case Catalyst knows to automatically place a space between translated words, it also already knows that punctuation should be treated differently than text. It is not necessary to use special commands to attach the comma to the end of the previous word, or to add a space afterward, if only one space is required. Therefore, the definition for Steno for a comma is simply the comma symbol. That's all there is to it. All the occurrences of the Steno final RBGS has now been properly defined as a comma. I'll scan to the next item. Normally, the Steno final FPLT by itself would mean a period. However, when I write a period followed by a comma, let me open my vertical notes and you'll see that's what I wrote. For me, that's my Steno for a semicolon. So I need to mark this and define it as a semicolon. I'll go ahead and mark twice, and then dedefine. The correct definition for a semicolon is just the semicolon symbol. Again, Case Catalyst already knows that a semicolon should attach to the end of the previous word and have one space after it, so there's no need for me to type anything other than the symbol. That's looking good. Okay, moving on now. Scanning forward to the next item. The definition for a period is a little different than a comma or a semicolon, because there should be two spaces after a period, not just one. The definition for Steno for a period is period space. So, in addition to typing a period, I'll press the spacebar once. Let's do another type of end-of-sentence punctuation. This is a misstroke for question mark. Just as with a period, there should be two spaces after a question mark, so the definition should be question mark space. The next item that needs to be fixed is a mistranslate. The words dash dash translated, and what I actually want is the punctuation for dashes. I'll position my cursor on the first occurrence of the word dash, mark twice, and press Ctrl D to dedefine. The definition for dashes is F4K, followed by two hyphen symbols. As you learned in the last lesson, F4 is the key to insert a format symbol, which is a command that tells Case Catalyst how to format the text and what type of spacing to use. The combination of F4 and then K inserts a sticky space format symbol. A sticky space format symbol holds one space. Normally, punctuation symbols will immediately attach to the end of the previous word. If we were defining a hyphen symbol by itself, we absolutely would want it to attach to the end of the previous word. But as we're defining dashes, we don't want it to attach to the end of the previous word. There should be a blank space before the dashes. So, we'll cause that space before the two hyphens by using a sticky space. That's really all there is to defining punctuation. Position the cursor, mark the Steno, then type the correct symbols, and if and when necessary, adding the format symbols and/or spacing required. To practice, go into the Training User and follow the directions for Exercise 7 in the Edit Practice document. When you're ready, proceed to the next lesson in order.